Got coffee, Cheetos, chicken. Good morning, chat. And by that I mean, of course, good afternoon, chat. Slash evening-ish. I know it's kind of bleeding. I know it's that time of day where it's like, is it afternoon? Is it evening? You know, like the sun's probably starting to set, maybe ish. I mean, it's like 5:30 where y'all are. The sun is not setting yet. Did you do Wordle yet? No. We can smash the Wordle real quick before Umineko, I guess. I was thinking of jumping straight into Umineko because... Hold on. I was thinking of jumping straight into Umineko because, you know, class and stuff like that, but... I'm a little tempted to just blow off class today. Not because I don't want to go to class, but because I don't care about this class. And I don't want to take the bike ride to campus. That's really it. I just don't want to ride my bike over there. But I think I've found a solution. I think I found a solution. I might not have to ride my bike today. It's a maybe. And if so, that's good news because I'd have like another 20 minutes to hang out with y'all. I'd still want to, you know, play it a little safe. Let me see. Let me check. Coffee, Cheetos, chicken. Okay, yeah, I think, is the solution skateboard? I feel like that would be slower than... I feel like that would be slower than a bicycle. But yeah, I grow weary, chat. Like, fuck me, you know? I've been riding my bike to and from class. Okay, it was very feasible when I had 2 in-person classes, and I didn't realize that, like, my English... I didn't have an English class. And then I look at my schedule the first day of school, and I'm like, I don't have an English class, like I talked about with my, you know, like, counselor. So I emailed them, they're like, hey, like, there's no English class on my schedule, even though we talked about it. We talked about me having an online English class. And my counselor, you know, in her... Thank you for the hydrate, Kaz, I do have some water. My counselor... in her ever-expanding wisdom, signed me up for an in-person English class on campus, and it's the only class I have on this day of the week, and I have to ride my bike there for a 90-minute class and back. Like, I'm almost spending the same amount of time riding my bike than I am sitting in class. I guess I'm spending half, like 50% of the time, because it's like 40-something minutes of bike riding all in. And it's a 90-minute class, so it's a lot easier when I have 2 90-minute classes at least. All right, let's get this Wordle going real quick before Wordle. I need to clean up my Ando, put on the list on Discord. Let me pull that video up. Put on the list that I need to clean up my sources, like, window on OBS, so I don't have to, like, fish around for, you know, a couple, like, minutes every single time I want to pull something new up, or something, you know, something old. But lose some people we know, some people we don't know. Hold on. I love this avatar, but it's not. I mean, we are listening to Deltarune music, so I guess I can hold on to it. You know what? It's as a little treat to myself. I can use my Dark World avatar, even though we're not streaming Deltarune. That's fair, right? Oh, look at that! My name. Pretty good guess. Munch. Moths. Okay, that's not how you play Wordle. As much as I would love to get Wordle in 2, trying a guess with M and O in it, on average, we love going for the high rolls, don't we, chat? But on average, going for a word that starts with M and O is going to take me more guesses than I would if I just go a word like think to, you know, eliminate more possibilities. Oh my god, it is moths. Shit. Month. It can't be month. It's looking... Wordle 2 is very doable for this word. Moth. Like moth with an A? Is that a word? Oh, mouth. Okay, well, Wordle... I got Wordle 4. I had moths on the head. Like, I had moths on the brain, okay? It could have been Wordle 3, but, let me catalog this. Do you guys have a fictional series that you like, but nobody else gets it like you do? When I was a lad, you know, a very tiny fungus, there's this book series I read called The Books of Umber, and it's not that no one gets it like I do, it's that literally no one's ever heard of it before. And I was like head over heels with this book series, The Books of Umber, by Paul Catanese. It's just like fantasy slop, but it was like, I really liked it. It was about this. It was called Books of Umber, but Umber was more like, I mean, he was a main character, but like the protagonist was this young lad called Happenstance. Well, I think Happenstance is the name that Umber gives him. So Umber's like this big grand figure, but the protagonist is Happenstance, who's this like green-eyed like prophet that doesn't need to sleep. He's like a mythical creature in the form of a human. It's weird. And he like sees the lines of people's fates, literally. It was a really cool series. Anyways, that's the first thing I think of when you ask me that question. It's not exactly that people don't get it, it's that people have never heard of it. And as a kid, I would, you know, I might go back and reread it at this point as an adult. I'm in school, save me. Best of luck. Muscle through. What was my first guess? Morel. Think. Moths. Mouth. Skimp on lessons from Morel. True. Where is my Wordle 4 gif? Surely I made a Wordle 4 gif, right? There we go. I don't have it favorited. People have heard of mine, but they don't give it a chance to the way... Don't say Limbus Company. Don't say Limbus Company. I should make a Google talk talking about Keijo. Alright. Because we did the Wordle so fast? Because we did the Wordle so fast. Let's knock out the connections too, before we move on. I got a more soft case, it would be Yokai Watch. I loved it, but I never saw someone do content about it except for one dude. I've heard of Yokai Watch, I think. Ferris wheel, bumper cart, merry-go-round, dune buggy, roller coaster. Vehicles appended, like vehicles appended to the words. Carry-on bag, duffel bag. Bouncy ball, rubber ball. Duffel bag, carry-on bag. Baby bag. Heather bag, that's a real thing, right? I didn't just make that up on the spot. Yes, that is a real thing. Okay, we're doing that first. Duffel bag, carry-on bag, baby bag, heather bag. Baby bag, that's a real thing, right? Baby bag for travel. Best baby bag. Carter nylon large baby bag. Okay, yeah, it's a real thing. No, man. Okay. The category is not bags. It's not even remotely close to bags because it would have been one off if I was lying about the baby bag thing. Bumper car, roller coaster, merry-go-round. Like, you know, theme park attractions. What are we missing? Ferris wheel, obviously. Okay. Whatever, I give up. Dune buggy. Rubber ball, bouncy ball. Baby ball. It's looking like a Lost Connections day-to-day chat. Heather. The peak is playing. Merry-go-round. No. Merry, sunny, bright, as in, like, your outlook, or, like, there's another word I'm thinking of that I'm really blanking on, like, bright. Not exposition, but, like, someone's outlook. It's a synonym for outlook, so let me... I think it's a synonym for outlook. Yokai watch. It rings a very faint bell. Not outlook, but like appearance. Dude, I'm blanking on this word and it's killing me. Manner. Demeanor, no. Complexion, kind of. Someone has a bright blank. Yeah, whatever. Feeling, you know, a good mood. Sunny, bright, merry. Pee-wee. Pee-wee Herman. Small. A small child. Okay, Pee-wee and baby could be something like that. Bouncy, like bubbly. Fuck me, man. Oh my gosh, it actually is. It's cheerful. A cheerful demeanor. A cheerful exposition. I'm still blanking on this word. A cheerful... Okay, demeanor synonym. Demeanor might be the word I'm looking for, even. Have you guys ever watched Inazuma 11? No, but I've also heard of it faintly. I think. I don't know. Okay, baby Pee-wee. We're actually clawing this back from the jaws of death. Okay, I'm still stuck. Okay, I'm still stuck on like bag and like that doesn't eliminate anything that I didn't already think like went together mistakenly. So like my intuition is kind of deceiving me here. Backseating is on, chat, because I hate connections. Plus calling. Baby Pee-wee. Hard shell. Rubber. Thinking cap is on, but not working. Dude, roller coaster, bumper cars, Ferris wheel. How is that not a category? How is that not even one off? Like, Ferris, I think they're called carts. Ferris wheel car. Cart. Big wheel. An amusement ride consisting of rotating upright wheel with passenger carrying components, commonly referred to as cars, cabins, tubs. Okay, they are. Ferris wheel. You think like maybe it's buggy? What was my first guess? It was bumper, Ferris roller, and Mary, I want to say. Oh, I did eliminate Mary. Okay. Was it one off? It wasn't even one off though, was it? Bumper car, Ferris wheel, roller coaster, dune buggy, like small vehicles. Bumper, buggy, Ferris, baby. Baby? What do you mean baby? Bumper car, Ferris wheel, dune buggy, bumper carts, I should say. Baby what? Baby what, exactly? Ah! I forgot to put sugar in my coffee! I just got fucking, like, jump scared, man. By the flavor. 1 second. It's not that it like wasn't an unpleasant flavor. It was just like so shocking to my palate to put, you know, such a divine liquid to my lips and like have it taste like coffee and not coffee with milk and sugar. See, that's much better. That's much better. But also the coffee is like really thin today. It's like thin coffee, so it was almost watery. It still is a little watery. Baby car. I gotta trust you because I believe my first guess wasn't even one off. One away, man. It's roller coaster. Okay. Rubber baby buggy bumper. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Kinds of luggage. Carry-on duffel hard shell roller. I could have gotten there. I mean, I've never heard of a... Oh yeah, like a hard shell... like a hard shell... Frickin' baggage. Yeah. I could have gotten that one. Title characters in 80s movies. Oh, Ferris Bueller, Indiana Jones, Pee Wee Herman, and... Heather something. Rubber baby buggy bumper. They really ran out of ideas. Yeah, who fucking knows, like, what the person that gets paid to do this shit is, like, on when he's making his rows for the day. Rubber baby buggy bumper. From a well-known tongue twister. Rubber baby buggy bumper. I don't know, that's not that hard to say. Can we not make the, like, can we not make the green row, like, the most obscure reference, like, you could imagine that no one's ever heard of but you because you're 65 years old, man? Like, message to the New York Times connections guy. I know you're probably, like, a millennial that's, like, 40-something years old. You need to, you need the references to be, like, a little more, like, at least a little more well-known. Like, your freaking dad probably showed you this in, like, 1987 when you were 10, but, like, we don't, like, no one else knows what that is. Like, come on. If it was Peter picked a pickle pepper, maybe? Well known and no one here recognizes it, lol. Yeah, that's just what Wiktionary said. Peter Piper picked a pickled pepper. Yeah, I know that one. That one I know. Like, I learned that one as a kid, too. Picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? Really riveting stuff, guys. Excuse me. Well, and now we can move on to the main event. We had our fun. We got freaking blasted by connections, you know, as per usual. Like, nothing new there. Connections kicked my ass. Nothing new under the sun, I mean, is what I mean to say. And now we go, you know, we go rub our heads in the soft bosom of Beatrice to feel better, because we lost. We have to go to the tea party. By that I mean we're going to the tea party. The Golden Witch has granted you an thank you for the hydrate. We hope that you choose to attend. I did choose to attend, but I had some other pressing matters, so I had to... I might start Keijo posting and hashtag shit posting. What is Keijo? Keijo. Keijo manga. There's a lot of ass on my screen. There's like a lot of ass on my screen. Also known as Hip Whip Girl, a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Daichi Sorayomi. Comedy sports. One of them can defeat their opponents by knocking them off their respective platforms and into the water using only their breasts or buttocks. The sport attracts millions of viewers across the country and boasts a lavish prize pool. Wow. Oh my gosh, it's Battler. He's alive. Hey everyone, congrats on finishing Umineko no Naku Koro ni. Man, I still didn't have a clue what was going on when the story ended. Is he an actor? Is he a fucking actor? Did we just watch a film? There's no way. You're telling me, man. That strange fella, is he a fucking actor? Did we just watch, like, a stage play? Or a film or some shit? It was all a dream. No, everyone died. Oh, okay. This is like a fourth wall breaking thing. Okay, it's just meta. So just what happened? Was that basically the bad ending where time runs out before the culprit gets exposed? Ooh. Definitely a bad ending. Ooh. That's right. Beatrice's letter, which Maria-chan read on the first day, did tell us in advance to solve the riddle of the epitaph. We were all so busy trying to protect ourselves and look for the culprit that we didn't even take a shot at it. That's right. If we had actually tried to solve the riddle, maybe things would have ended differently. I think there's new info on the character screen here. They're all still dead. No. Oh! Missing. Even though she was given a precious invitation to the Golden Land, a single fool refused to believe in the witch and all of the magic disappeared. She was then shot to bits by demons and went to hell. Okay? Even though everyone was getting along so well after being reunited in the Golden Land, all of the magic came to nothing because of a certain hard-headed fool. Afterwards, the demons chewed him to the bone and he went to hell. Missing. This fool made the world where everyone could be happy all come to nothing. Though Beatrice is extremely angry, she also seems to be enjoying herself immensely. It's almost as though she's waited 1,000 years to get her hands on a toy as fun as this one. Hopefully even this fool will be able to see you before too long. Okay? Damn, Battler ruined it for fucking everyone. I wonder about that. Shannon-chan, you did a good job too. You don't have to be a waitress and serve tea. After all, this is a rap party. As a group of people who met a horrible fate, let's all get along and lick each other's wounds. Welcome back, Battler. Lick, lick, lick. Speaking of a horrible fate, Shannon beats the rest of us hands down, doesn't she? She was such a beautiful character, so I thought she'd definitely survive until the very end. But she was killed right at the beginning, and on top of that, what was it? Half of her face was smashed, right? That's the worst. That was my role, so, there was no way around it. Posture check and hydrate. I'm straight back, good sir. Nesson, it's nothing for you to worry about. Judging by the last epilogue, even Milady and the rest of them had an extremely tragic end. Nesson, it's nothing for you to worry about. Judging by the last epilogue, even Milady— oh shit. It seems so. I think I remember seeing this horrible picture. Kinda like my entire body had been eaten apart and dismembered. Okay? The demons— that's fucking crazy, man. How horrific. Speaking of which, don't you think Cannon's last moments were the coolest? Even though he had the tables turned on him, it was a showdown with the culprit, right? It's a whole bunch better than our confusing last moments, right? Though in the end, I was unable to get a solid hit in. Still, I think Cannon-kun's death was a big hint. After all, because of that, the existence of the 19th person was made clear. That's right. At that time, everyone's location was obvious. So it was impossible for anyone other than some unknown 19th person to kill Cannon. Ooh! I said it was Beatrice from the beginning, over and over. Ooh! I don't want to believe it, but that does prove the culprit was a witch calling herself Beatrice. That's right. There were many strange things that happened that a human couldn't do. Ooh! Only a witch could do things like murdering Aunt Ava in that closed room. A human couldn't do it. Ooh! Not only is the existence of a 19th person clear, but it's also obvious that this person holds a power that humans can't even imagine. In that case, I think there's I don't think there's anything wrong with calling this person Beatrice. We probably met at the very end. Met with the Golden Witch. Like I kept saying, Beatrice exists. It all went bad because no one ever believed. Ooh, even one of her witch friends says that miracles won't occur if you don't believe. Ooh. That's right. Beatrice-sama is generous to those who respect her. It seems to me that Maria-sama was never a target of Beatrice-sama's wrath up to the very end, despite the horrible crimes that occurred one after another. Well, Maria believed in Beatrice from the very beginning. But if that's the case, how do you explain why you and the rest were all killed? You guys believed in Beatrice just as much, right? Beatrice-sama probably had her reasons. If the Song of the Epitaph represented Beatrice-sama's resurrection ceremony, many sacrifices were needed. You must simply have been designated to be one of those. Hanan-chan, you met a horrible end. At the very least, I wish your death could have been more peaceful and pretty. Well, it's not like it hurt. Anyway, right now I'm perfectly fine, so don't worry. After seeing him stroke Shannon's cheek, which had been crushed during the story, everyone laughed out loud, smiling. Well, it feels a bit weird saying this, but I was sure this story would fit into the standard mystery genre. I'm a bit surprised to find out that it's a fantasy. After all, a Western mansion shut away from the outside world on an isolated island, with an inheritance problem on everyone's minds. It sounds just like a typical mystery novel to me. That's what I was thinking. Ooh, it's not fantasy. Beatrice exists. Ooh. Yes, we understand. Beatrice-sama does exist. That's right. Beatrice-sama does exist. I hate to admit it, but I've got no choice. Because it's obvious that a 19th person, a witch, was involved. Many things happened that it'd be impossible for humans. During the story, we try to deny that in all sorts of ways. Is this propaganda from Beatrice? But now I can say it for sure. Each crime, every single one, would have been impossible for a human. They'd be impossible to carry out unless it was the witch Beatrice using all of the power magic could provide. The rest of the game is just every character talking about the first act as if it were a podcast. That's what I'm thinking, man. The culprit was a witch. That point's perfectly clear. Long live Beatrice. Shut up, nerd. Ooh, everyone believed. I'm so glad. Ooh. Gods and witches might seem terrifying to people who are frightened of them, but I think they must be affectionate to those who believe and respect them. I think you're right. Well, witches can't exist, so I think it's all a load of bullshit. So this murder case game is finally over. Now's the time to pull ourselves together and try hard to solve the riddle of the epitaph, just like Beatrice said, right? Ooh, I agree. Beatrice will definitely be happy. Everyone ignored that letter during the story. Even though it was thrust right in front of us. We almost completely ignored it. Yes, everyone, let's just all say, yes, Beatrice exists, one by one in a circle. I kind of feel sorry for Beatrice-sama. Hanan-chan is so cute. I've got the epitaph written down right here. Let's all solve it. Let's all solve it. The story probably went wrong ever since that time. That may be so. Maybe we should have tried solving the epitaph's riddle from the beginning, like Beatrice said. Well, it's a little late now. Even so, let's try solving it now and see if the witch forgives us. This is making me believe in magic even less. This is like the actual killer, like, puppeting around their dead bodies, or like, there's like an just out of shot, there's like a gun pointed at all of them, like at all of their faces. Yeah, Beatrice exists, I swear. Let's go, try to solve the riddle of the epitaph. It was something like, behold the Sweetfish River running through my beloved hometown. Maria put her notebook on the table and opened to the page where the epitaph was written. Everyone stared at it. I was having a lot of fun reading like the narration for the chapter 1, I'm not gonna lie. Making it like as ominous and as ghastly and, you know, like Lovecraftian as possible. Like I said in like my first stream through this, I was taking notes from Wayne June. Like literally, I would listen to Wayne June's like audiobooks. Um, he's the voice actor for Darkest Dungeon 1 and 2. Something is going to happen tomorrow. Did the prophet NLE Choppa decree it? Everyone stared at it, getting really into it as they started guessing this and that about the riddle, surrounded by the smell of black tea and freshly baked vanilla cookies. They spent the time comfortably and happily. Hold on a second, you guys. But Badler spoke in a way that cut through the conversation. His expression looked a little unhappy. What could he not like about all this fun? I've been listening to you guys for a while, but why did you all stop thinking? Why are you so sure that the witch was behind all this? I'm telling you guys, I've been telling you guys since stream 1. Badler is literally me. He's like the actual Sigma of the group. Freaking Sigma Endgame. Don't you realize something like that can't exist? With just those words, the happy atmosphere surrounding the tea bar party evaporated in an instant. George and Jessica, and Shannon and Cannon, and Maria. I can't say that shit with a straight face. All of them stared blankly, wondering what in the world Badler was talking about. Even the foolish, arrogant Badler realized that he hadn't chosen his words well. Because, isn't it clear that these crimes were impossible for a human? Alright, Joker. That's right, that's right. None of the cases would have been possible for a human. That's true. After all, wasn't it full of things that humans couldn't explain? I don't understand what you're saying, Battler-sama. I'm the one who doesn't have a clue what you guys are talking about. Isn't it obvious that humans committed these crimes? There's no way something like a witch exists, right? Then, what about when I was killed in the storehouse, and something horrible was done to half of my face? If the culprit was human, how could they have accomplished it? Well, it's hard to imagine how they did something that awful. But that was the Rose Garden storehouse, right? I'm sure there were plenty of weird tools in there. Let's say they used some electrical tools, like a grinder or an electric saw. And then, Battler, how do you explain Grandfather's disappearance from the study when it was a closed room? Even though the door was sealed, Grandfather just suddenly disappeared, right? We talked about that during the story, too. It's not impossible that Grandfather used some trick to fool the receipt. It's also possible that he went out the window, fell down, and not so he locked the window from the inside. I could think of a bunch of tricks you could use without relying on magic. That makes sense, but in that case, Battler-kun, how do you explain the way my parents were killed in the guest room? The door was sealed by the lock and the chain. Naturally, the window was sealed too. I explained this one already, in text. Maria is a small child. She's small enough to fit through the chain. Her frame is narrow enough to fit through the gap in the chain. So she just walked in on evidence to anything because she was like asleep or, you know, it was a 20 centimeter gap. I'm sure Maria could have squeezed in there like a cat, you know? You know how like cats can squeeze through basically anything that's like at least as wide as their head? Maria probably did the same thing. She's like a cat in very many ways, so. Naturally, the window was sealed too. How do you think a human could have killed my parents? Well, we did have to leave that trick alone during the story. Anyway, there's at least a good chance the culprit had a key, and it was possible to look in through the crack of the door that the chain allowed. I know this is a stretch, but it's possible some device was used through that crack. Like maybe they stuck something through it? Even though a door chain is incredibly simple, it's a big factor in setting up a closed room. Still, there's probably some closed room trick they could have used. If you bought some closed room mysteries novels from the bookstore, you could probably find some trick that'd fit perfectly. Anyway, I can't think of one now, but I claim that there's nothing humans can't do if they try hard enough. Isn't that argument horribly irrational? It's just ridiculous to claim that it's possible for a human to do something, even though you can't explain how. Why is that ridiculous? Maybe they use a magnet. Why did all of you stop thinking? Even something that looks impossible has to be doable. Doesn't it always work like that? Maybe it was no clip, true. Maybe you guys know those like magnet like extendo arms that like kids have? Maybe they used one of those to unchain the door, kill Ava and Hideyoshi, and then they used it to rechain the door when they left. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? It was like plastic extendo arms. Battler, you're the one being ridiculous. If you think a human could have done it, try explaining how. You can't, can you? You're okay with saying the culprit is a witch just because I can't explain it? With that argument, all the unsolved crimes of the world could be resolved by saying a witch is a culprit. Were those a thing in 1976? Well, there were probably like long plastic tools that could behave as an appendage, even if not specifically the like red extendo arm. Claw. Badler, you're sidestepping the issue, and you aren't explaining anything. We're saying a human couldn't have done it. Therefore, the culprit is something that isn't human, and that something else is a witch. And yet you keep arbitrarily deciding that witches are impossible even though you can't explain anything. It's almost like humanity was during the Dark Ages. Like those fools who claimed the heavens spun around the earth. Those who said that the earth couldn't be spinning even though they couldn't explain why. Actually, we knew that the earth was round and more or less that it revolved around the sun during that period of history. For your edification, Maria, that kind of argument kind of pisses me off. So this is basically what you're trying to say. If I can't explain how a human could do it, then I must accept that the culprit is a witch? It's not like we're forcing you to go that far. No, Canon's British now. We're just wondering on what basis you can say such nonsense. Nonsense? Hey, have I really been saying something that weird just now? Am I the one who's crazy? You guys are really starting to freak me out. Badler-sama, when I died in the boiler room, I was killed by a 19th person who shouldn't exist. Can you explain how a human could have done that? At that time, the locations of the 18 were well known. Even so, I was killed. We talked about that in the story as well, right? Kumasawa Ba-chan, for example. She said she followed right after you and down to the boiler room, but we can't know for sure whether that was a lie or not. For all we know, she might have entered the boiler room with you and caught you by surprise. Or maybe when you stepped into the boiler room, you activated some kind of trap, one that might have been set up to hit you with one of those ice picks. After all, the stink of grandfather's body was coming from the incinerator. Someone was bound to go and check, so if the culprit just set up a trap beforehand, they could easily have stayed away from that place, and used the time of Canon-kun's death to create an alibi. You talk about a trap in the boiler room, but what kind of trap could that be? Now that's right. Following his death, everyone immediately ran over to the boiler room. But we didn't find any kind of weird device, did we? That is correct. Badler-sama, what kind of trap could I have been killed with? Crossbow in the roof? Pickaxe crossbow. I would burn Maria in a witch trial. She would absolutely be burned at the stake, man. Well, I don't know that. But anyway, they must have used some kind of clever trap. Or maybe someone's lying. Or, what about this? Canon-kun, what if the whole thing was just you play acting? That's it, you were play acting. Aunt Ava and Uncle Hideyoshi were also play acting. They made the closed room themselves and were only pretending to be dead. Battler, has your head been, feeling okay? Should I bring some cold drinks? Don't look at me with those pitying eyes. I'm not saying something that crazy, right? I'm just pointing out some possibilities you might find if you think of it all as a trick. Look, isn't it a pretty classic trick in mystery stories to have one of the victims just be playing dead? A classic trick? In other words, when Canon-kun was killed, we know for sure where all the rest of us were. Is this hell? I was thinking this might have been the Golden Land, like unironically. And let's assume that Kumasawa Ba-chan wasn't lying. But that's only counting the survivors. What if the culprit pretended to be dead and joined a group of real victims, so we'd lose track of them, and then acted on their own later? Everything would be explained. It's Purgatorio. Purgatory. Which is a form of hell. Depending on who you ask. By the way, Purgatorio is where Beatrice leads Dante to in the Divine Comedy. I see. I haven't read the Divine Comedy, but you know what? It is absolutely on the list. the literature list. We need to get back to L'étranger, chat. Tomorrow morning. L'étranger before Umineko. So you can see the subtle allusion to it now. I do. I keep on thinking about how Limbus Company, like, I feel like Project Moon and whatever that guy's name is, you know, the like head dev or whatever, I feel like they took a lot of inspiration from, obviously from Divine Comedy, which is something that this novel took inspiration from, so there's gonna be many parallels, but I feel like it also took direct inspiration from this novel itself for Kanto 6. I keep on thinking about it. I haven't read it, lol, so I don't know. I know there's several guides for Dante, though. Yeah. Are you trying to say that Aunt Ava or one of the others was the culprit? But didn't Dr. Nanjo confirm all of their deaths as a doctor? That's right. Dr. Nanjo checked all of the victims. Battler-sama, for your theory to work, wouldn't Dr. Nanjo have to be one of the culprits, too? I don't know what voice I'm giving Kanon anymore. Yeah, that's right. Once you consider that Dr. Nanjo might have been one of the culprits and faked the proclamation of death, the whole story changes. See, that's also a classic trick in mystery novels, isn't it? But Dr. Nanjo was also killed, right? About that. That's right, Dr. Nanjo faked his death. Okay, Battler. After all, there wasn't anyone except Dr. Nanjo who could examine corpses properly, and everyone was really confused then anyway. We didn't have any spare time to check and see if he still had a pulse. With this theory, any one of the dead people could have been walking around. I think it would have been hard for the 6 of us who died in the beginning to do that. After all, the shutter was closed and there was a padlock that couldn't have been opened from the inside. That is true. If there were any people helping, they were killed too. Do we, like, what happened to the young adults? To Badler and Jessica and George, because it says they got brutally, like, savaged and maimed, but they don't seem to be acknowledging that right now. This has to be the Golden Land, right? Like, this is where they are right now, if we're not thinking of it in an absolute meta sense. Where, like, what else could this be? Like, this is just the absolute, abstract, supernatural Golden Land. Mom was holding on to that key. So is Mom one of the culprits too? Who knows? It was said Purgatorio when you opened it. When you started the tea party, I mean. I didn't notice that. I actually didn't notice that at all. I missed that. Wait a sec. Maybe it was impossible for the first 6. But in the case of Aniki's parents, so they are in hell. Well, in this sense, Purgatorio is probably a separate location from hell itself. I see Purgatory and hell as the same place because of my, like, own personal religious beliefs, but I know that's not how it's represented in the Divine Comedy, right? Don't think too hard about it right now. Just gracefully accept everything that's happening, of course. The door was only locked on the outside, so they could have opened it from the inside. That's right. After we left the room, maybe they jumped out the window and got to the boiler room first. Is that too much of a stretch? Or maybe Dr. Nanjo made a mistake when examining the corpses. Look, he said it himself, right? He said there's a very high probability of making a mistake when examining corpses. If you disguised it well enough or prepared a substitute body, you could fake your own death. Let's leave the method or trick they use for later, and you see it's not that hard to deny a 19th person existed, right? Much less a witch, right? That's right. We didn't see the faces of the first 4 bodies, so what if they prepared fake bodies, savaged up their heads, dressed up in their clothes, and, like, ran around the island naked, doing the rest of their plans for the rest of the night. It was all Rudolph-sama. I don't know why you've been trying to so stubbornly to say that one of us is the culprit. In other words, you want to suspect one of your relatives? It's not it. It's just, I can't easily accept that a 19th person existed, and even if one did, I think we should construct our argument from the point of view that the culprit was a human. I'll only accept that it's a witch in desperation at the very end after everything else has been disproved. There's no way witches exist, right? I agree, there's no way. Why has everyone been casually accepting that the culprit was a witch? I think it's great how your family love makes you hate the thought that someone close to you was a murderer. But is it okay to let that fool you? Thank you for the hydrate. I'll finish off my water. Don't you want to find the detestable culprit who killed so many people? It was Maria, man. It was all Maria. Maria killed the first 6, as I explained before. Then she killed Ava and Hideyoshi. Then she had, she set up a trap to kill Kanon. Then, you know, after she dragged Kinzo's body into the incinerator when no one was looking, then when she got kicked out of the locked room, she killed the other 4 people, Genji and Nanjo and Kumasawa. Then she called the main room with her secret telephone, and she started singing and pretending that Beatrice told her to do it. I'm telling you guys, Beatrice is the murderer. Aniki, don't you want to avenge your parents? She killed all 6 and put her bodies in the storehouses as a kid, set up a trap, somehow killed Kinzo, and somehow went missing and her jaw was found. Also, Natsuhi shot herself amidst all this. Natsuhi shot herself when she realized that Maria... Here's the thing, I'm still very heavily subscribed to the unreliable narrator theory as it stands. I think that a lot of events probably didn't happen as they appeared in the actual novel we were reading, because now we know that what we were reading was a story written by someone who claims to be Maria. And obviously she doesn't have, you know, she's not omniscient, like she doesn't know exactly what's going on in other parts of the house or what other people are thinking. So there's too many like factors in the story that, if at least aren't completely fictitious, are embellished greatly. If Beatrice just wanted to kill everyone and she truly was a witch with abundant power, she would do it. If they were reviving the witch, how can she do all this? During the story, she's gaining power. I think you should accept that a witch did it all. The one thing that I can accept for certain right now is that there is at least a facet, like a small factor of unreliable narrator at play with what we know. If it's not all completely made up bullshit, then some of it is embellished, or there are some like gaps and holes that are plugged up because the writer of the story that we were reading could not have possibly known everything that happened at every point in the island, everywhere. That's my opinion, at least. Like, we need to know more right now before I can really like theorize, like in a serious capacity, I want to say. Why has everyone totally surrendered and decided that the culprit was a witch? Activate Bachelor Morel, you need to lock in? Real. Yeah, but we're in Purgatory right now, so I think that's good enough. That's reason enough to use my Dark World variant. The foolish and short-tempered battler tried to force his ignorance on the others and yelled at them. However, everyone just looked at him pityingly, silently watching over him. At that time, the wise Maria laughed and pointed out Battler's mistake. I'm shocked. All I see is you repeating this nonsense, thinking you figured something out, Battler. So, what's next? How would a human do it? In practical terms, I mean. I imagine you'll say, I just can't think of anything now, or with some kind of device. Using abstract words to run away and evade the topic. What I really want to know, Battler, is this. Why don't you believe in Beatrice? She exists, so why don't you believe? Because she doesn't exist. Witches don't exist. There's no way. It was almost like a spoiled child who just doesn't wish to accept something. The pitying gazes quietly closed in around Battler, but they didn't reach his stubborn heart. You realize that you're just acting like a spoiled brat throwing a tantrum, right? Battler-sama, I understand your feelings, but Beatrice does exist. Battler-kun, why don't you believe? Like, a Battler's in hell, and everyone else are like spirits, like made-up fucking demons. They're not the real people. Battler's the only one in hell. This has to be hell for Battler specifically. He's just caught in an endless purgatory of like debating the existence of Beatrice for all time. As this is like Beatrice's like, you know, ironic punishment, because like according I don't know if this is in the Divine Comedy or not, but like punishments in hell or purgatory, sorry, assuming it's a different place, are like ironic, right? That's in the Divine. I haven't read it, but I feel like I remember hearing something about that. Like punishments in hell are very ironic. Like if you were a gambler in life, your hell is gonna be like a casino where, you know, either you always win or you always lose, and it's, you know, it's your own personal hell, right? Like if you were, you know, if you were like a misogynist, like your hell would be like being surrounded by women that are smarter than you or something. I don't know, something like that. Like, anyways, this is Battler's personal hell, surrounded by people who insist on Beatrice's existence for the rest of eternity. I don't accept that the argument that the witch must have been behind everything just because I can't explain it. Does this mean that if you don't know how a light bulb shines, then magic is the cause? That's wrong, isn't it? There's nothing that can't be explained without magic. All of this about witches and magic is just abdication of thought. I hate women that are smarter than me. Please send me there where I can be taken care of. So true, so true. They say you attract what you fear. Oh no, a strong and intelligent woman that knows what she wants. Ah, no. My heart can't take it. You just surrendered and gave up because you don't understand what happened. Isn't that right? Well, unsurprisingly, it looks like you alone won't believe no matter what, Battler. Even a single person doesn't believe, the miracle won't occur. So if you don't rethink your ignorant theories, the magic won't be completed. Now I see. I finally figured it out. So in other words, you guys are trying to force me to say that the witch exists, right? Okay, this is the Golden Land. They're not in hell yet. They haven't been torn to shreds by demons. Or so the story goes. A lie that everyone accepts becomes the truth. Is that what this is all about? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I keep going on about this, but what you're doing is all useless. I refuse. You guys are all pressing me, and that's why it's all useless. Damedane. Why? Sorry, but why don't you let me spin the chessboard around one last time? If you want to force me to accept that there's a witch, there's a really easy way. And it's not the indirect way of saying it must be a witch because humans couldn't have done it. All you have to do is show me a witch doing it with magic. Furthermore, what Maria said earlier is what'll really dig her grave. You said that if even one person doesn't believe, a miracle won't occur. But real miracles happen whether people believe in them or not. He's actually friggin' spitting right now. Even if I alone don't believe. So any miracles or magic or witches that exist only because I believe in them are downright lies. The uneasy mood following Battler's ignorant rant was blown away by a very soft and light laugh. Whose laugh? Battler was surprised. He had never heard that voice before. When he looked at George and Jessica, at Shannon and Canon and Maria, he noticed that they had suddenly gone respectfully silent. Oh, Beatrice. Okay. How amusing. This is Beatrice's actual theme, and it's similar to the Deltarune one. Dude, I bet Toby Fox freaking read Umineko. I bet money that, like, even if not directly inspired by it, I bet there is some, like, trace hint of Umineko in Deltarune. I just like the regal, like, arrogant, like, presumptuous, like, feeling of Beatrice itself just makes me, like, it just screams queen. And we haven't even seen her until just now. Not yet. How amusing. I haven't met such a charming human for quite some time. The only difference is I read Queen as, like, a very, like, deadpan, like, monotone. I know a lot of people play Deltarune, and, like, they give her an overly regal, like, sumptuous voice. I don't know, she's a computer, so to me, she has, like, a very... And the way that her, like, words are typed out, like, they're... Every single word she says is capitalized. So something about that made me think, like, okay, she speaks, like, very fast, like, very quick, and with almost no emotion in her voice at all. And it was probably kind of boring to listen to, but, like, that's just how I, like, headcanon Queen. Like, she has a very, like, fast and brief voice, and she doesn't really put any emotion in her voice, and even all her jokes and, like, sarcastic remarks, like, kind of come out like this, like, oh, Chris, you sly dog. And that's just how her... Anyways. Beatrice I can give a cocky, regal voice to. Hello, Fab. Thank you for the care package. I will... I really don't want to say goodbye now. Like, fuck. Do I blow off class, chat? I hate English. Welcome, Fab. Thank you for the value pack. Thank you for reminding me to, like, be alive. If there were ever a time to... Beatrice is right in front of you, how can you say she's not real? Well... Now it becomes a little silly, doesn't it? I do have to, like, call it in, like, 5 minutes, so we're gonna try and get through as much as possible before I save. I was hoping to maybe finish it, but we are gonna have to put a pin in it somewhere. But did they see Beatrice in the actual mansion? We don't know. This is Battler's fucking personal hell, so obviously Beatrice is real. If he's in purgatory, like, yeah, oh no, I was wrong, like, that's his real hell. He's freaking surrounded by women that are smarter than stronger than him. He is, dude, that was just, like, a random example. But Battler, like, is a misogynist, and his hell is being surrounded by women that know more than him and are stronger than him. Like, it was just a wild, like, stab in the dark. But it's actually 100% like fitting to the scenario. Anyways, how amusing! I haven't met such a charming human for quite some time. What? Who are you? Don't you even know the host of the tea party you were invited to? How amusing indeed. This is Beatrice-sama, the golden witch who has lived for 1,000 years. It is an honor to be graced with your presence, Beatrice-sama. Please forgive Battler-kun's ranting. This guy's just stubborn, and, he still doesn't understand the situation he's in. I think it played the noise? I missed it. There it is. Beatrice, the golden witch who has lived for 1,000 years. She has passed the limits of humans and, like demons, will sometimes appear in response to the summons made by humans to offer her power in exchange for a prize. She likes black tea and ice cream. She hates boredom and people who deny her existence. Oh, what a treat this is. Most witches get tired of living after the first 1,000 years. How nice it is to meet a man with backbone such as yourself every once in a while. It is quite an honor to be present when Beatrice shows herself, Battler. How astonishing. Are you really that desperate to make me believe that a 19th person is the culprit? You hired a paid actor, guys. This is starting to get interesting. And it's all useless. You must be the illusion that Maria and the others called a witch, Beatrice. I can't believe Maria hired a paid actor to try and trick me into saying Beatrice is real. And you'll only be allowed to exist if everyone believes it. You have that kind of half-existence, right? That's why you want to make me believe too. You can't exist because I alone don't believe in you. Isn't that right? Beatrice is some random person that swam to the island, and they gave her a dress and a smoking pipe. Your powers of comprehension aren't bad for a mere commoner who knows nothing of magic. Yes, it seems you were born with a strong magic-resisting power. You're a natural enemy of us witches. No matter how much we turn your world upside down, you never believe in us. Therefore, the magic won't succeed. I accept that attitude of yours. I've got no clue what you're saying. It's very kind of you to go to all of the trouble of showing yourself to us. But I don't believe you exist in the slightest. Cut the music, cut the videotape, get this paid actor out of here. It's true that many strange things happened during these 2 days. Like Maria said earlier, even though I think all the tricks could be explained, I still can't lay out the practical details of each one. However, that doesn't mean I'll surrender. I'm different from the rest of them, got it? I'll never accept that it was a work of a witch just because I can't explain it. Okay, just cast a spell. Just cast a spell and he'll believe right now. Dude, he can literally cast a spell in front of him and he'd be like, that's a cheap party trick. You expect me to believe? Like, is this your card, Battler? Beatrice is gonna guess Battler's freaking card. Nice cheap party trick, paid actor. This keeps getting more amusing. Why did the music get cut? Making you surrender will be worth my while. You're just the kind of man I like to force into praising my name. I'd love to try making a man like you kiss my toes. Want to talk nonsense? Talk all you want. I mean, chat. I'm not saying I wouldn't, but I deny you exist. Anyways, moving on. I'll explain all these events with humans and tricks. There's no room for even a speck of magic or witches. Wonderful. What a perfect way to divert oneself from 1,000 years of boredom. Then let me ask you. A short while ago, you said that using the crack in the door would be sufficient to kill Eva and Hideyoshi, right? Explain how they could have been killed using some human trick. Suddenly jumping right into the toughest part, are you? Does that mean this is the trick you're proudest of, Miss Real Culprit? And then he got Thanos snapped. With a shake of her golden pipe, gentle, multicolored smoke trailed out of the end. The smoke quickly obscured their surroundings, and they were suddenly in the hallway of the mansion. Alright, well shit, you are a witch, I believe now. The door in front of them slightly open but secured by the chain was... That's right. It's the door to the room where Eva and Hideyoshi were killed. Nice trick. Nice cheap party trick. She drugged us. Very well. Show me what you would do through this small crack, Battler. You know it's supposed to have audio. Game broke. Oh. It literally, like, muted itself. Did you press M? That mutes it. Yes, I did press M. They probably had some device to shoot those ice picks. The music cuts so suddenly. I thought it was, like, something on purpose. If they used that... How could they reach Ava over on the bed when you can't see that far through this crack? And how would they reach Hideyoshi in the bathroom with the door shut? Damn. There's a crack. There should be some way. If you can't think of one, allow me. Oh. How would a witch do it? Come on, let's see your little trick. Battler, you're being rude to Beatrice. How nice, how nice. What a charming man. Beatrice is, like, stunningly attractive, I'm not gonna lie. Like, fuck. That will make it even more fun to force him into submission. Like, I'm not saying I condone Kinzo's actions, I'm just saying, like, I really, honestly get it. I get it, man. You really want to make me kiss your toes that much? Only if I surrender. But watch. I'll definitely expose this trick, and then I'll make you kiss my ass instead. What a delightful man. I'll remember that promise. Weak witches kiss the behinds of demons to gain power. Because there's no more humiliating oath. Just being told that makes me want to force you into surrender. Paying no mind to Battler's worthless ranting, Beatrice once again shook the golden pipe. That's right, that golden pipe was her precious magic cane. Come, arise, children. I am the guide of purgatory. Forgive the deadly sins and hold the 7 stakes. Guided by those magic words, which sounded like a command, 7 stakes gathered. They were the stakes of the 7 demons, symbolizing the deadly sins of sinful people. Beelzebub and Asmodeus. Come, forgive the sins. Release the spirits of the sinners. What? The pics of Beelzebub and Asmodeus responded to Beatrice's call. The 2 stakes of the demons were sucked in through the crack of the door, like billiard balls struck by a cue stick. Then several noises refracted through the wall, making a sound like a woodpecker. And at the end, a pleasant sound could be heard. Oh, nice cheap parlor trick. It was a small, satisfying sound, like the one heard when someone is chopping firewood, and the falling axe neatly and easily slices through the wood. It was the sound of the 2 picks burying themselves deep into Eva and Hideyoshi's foreheads. Right down the middle. Wanna see? They definitely heard 2 sounds like a pair of foreheads being split open. Battler wasn't permitted to see it since he was on the other side of the door. But those 2 had died again, and this second time, they lay not an inch apart from where they had lain the last time, with the exact same blood spray as before. You moron! That's insane! You think you could just kill them like that? I can kill them. I can kill them just like this. Okay. Battler, I think you should believe in the witch, actually. Suddenly they were no longer in the hall, but seated at the tea party they had started from. I might be late to class today, chat. Assuming cause like I haven't even, here's the thing. I'm trying a new method of getting to class. So I don't know if it's gonna, I mean it should, assuming, there's no reason that it should take longer than it takes me to cycle there, so. I just have a habit of, like, being extra early to something if I don't know the method. Yes. I'm gonna have Beatrice teleport me to class anyways, so whatever. Everyone but Battler was sitting meekly, but Cannon was moaning, fresh blood dangling from his mouth. What a rude thing to do at a tea party. Satan's stake was buried deep into Cannon's chest. Cannon-kun! Cannon-kun! Damn it! Battler was the only one getting agitated. George, Jessica, Shannon, everyone else was meekly hanging their heads like students being yelled at by their teacher. Cannon was captivated by a trifling anger, and tried to disturb my banquet. Being easily captivated by anger is your deadly sin. Cleanse yourself, repent, and do it over. Sama. Beatrice-sama, please forgive him. I think Kanan-kun has repented enough. Wonderful. I am generous to those who respect me. Don't screw with me. Do you think I'll accept your existence because of this cheap act? like hell you're a 1,000-year-old witch. Your tricks aren't 1,000 years old, they're just the sum of a century of classic tricks from the mystery genre. There's no such thing as magic. Definitely not. All of those crimes can be explained with humans and tricks. You would explain my 1,000 years with 100 years of humans. Good, good. This is precisely why I've taken a liking to you. I feel like she actually doesn't like Badler that much. Foolish Badler. Cut it out, Badler-kun. You can't go against the witch. Shannon started moaning, holding her cheek. Maybe she had a toothache. But apparently it wasn't a toothache after all. Bart is 18 years old, but Beatrice has 1,000 years of trolling under her belt. A slight redness spread across the cheek Shannon was holding. It looked like that redness was causing Shannon unbearable pain. Her fingers were pressing in against her cheek, and drops of sweat appeared all over her body. Shannon! Shannon! Hang in there, hang in there! What's going on? Damn it, what the hell is that red stuff? It expanded rapidly, covering half of Shannon's face. Then the stupid dunce Badler finally realized. Please, Badler-kun. Please believe in Beatrice, I beg you. Because you won't believe... the magic is dissolving! For the first time in his life, Badler heard that sound like a pomegranate splitting. The red spray even landed on everyone is dying again because Badler's not believing in Beatrice. He's in hell. It's fine. This is all made up bullshit because he's in hell. He's already dead. This isn't what actually happens. Poor Shannon's face had been split in half, and her last horrible moments in that storehouse were repeated once again. Ah, Shannon! Crying noises. They're being chewed by demons. Is that what that is? I guess demons are strictly spiritual entities. I'm so used to, like, Warhammer, that, like, when I hear being chewed apart by demons, I think of, like, literal, actual, like, physical demons, like pouncing on you and eating you apart. But, this actually makes more sense. In, like, practical terms of what a demon actually is, not like in fantasy. This time the redness spread across George's entire body. It was like the beautiful cloud drawn by milk when it's poured into black tea. It spread out and extended across his entire body. As it did, it seemed to give George increasingly greater pain. Looking at this bizarre spectacle, Badler was petrified as he frantically thought, with his pitifully clumsy imagination, about the nature of this strange death George and the rest were experiencing. It must be some kind of illness. Eventually, that redness reached the nearby Jessica as well. Stop it, stop it, stop it! What did Aniki do? What did Jessica do? Just stop it! As long as at least one person denies her, she's an illusion that can exist. George was no longer recognizable as a human. He looked like the pile of leftover meat after the good, delicious meat had been scraped off to be cooked. The only thing that even resembled a human was the shape of his lower jaw and ribcage. And it was clear that Jessica, who was covered with a steadily strengthening redness, was approaching the same fate. Ooh, Badler, quickly, believe in Beatrice. If you don't, everyone's magic will dissolve. Maria, it's all over your body too. I revive all the dead with my magic, but as long as you don't believe that magic will hold no true power. But I'm sure that a man like yourself won't surrender to something like this, right? But Badler, we didn't want to doubt our friends. We refused to face reality and gave in to the witch. But Badler, you won't give in to the witch. Jessica! Jessica! Poor Jessica met the same end. Just like George, she ended up like a butcher's leftovers. George and Jessica were now so destroyed, melted and mixed up, it was impossible to tell them apart. Battler, don't cry. Beatrice will restore the dead over and over, so there's nothing to be sad about, so even if we die, we're still just fine. The redness began eating into the whole of Maria's body. Foolish Battler watched and screamed. Yeah, I'm being serious. I imagined, like, actual physical demons just, like, chewing them apart. Like a cornite bloodletter or something. Like a pack of them. VR's getting so real these days. I can't believe the witch is trying to convince me with this. Wait, actual Zanger is playing though. Last minute of the tea party. Okay, perfect. We can get it done, but first, like, I imagine like a slavering, like, red demon, like, just chewing them apart like this. Very, very, very brutal and horrific. I mean, the way they died is still pretty bad, but not as bad as I thought it would be. I won't forgive you. I'll never forgive you. A witch? Magic? I'll risk my body and soul to deny you. No matter what happens, I can't accept you. Now that you've gone so far to piss me off, I'll never forgive you. I won't forgive, I definitely won't forgive you. You'll regret making me, Yoshiramiya Battler, your enemy. I'll deny you no matter what. No matter how baffling things get, it can all be explained by humans. I'll erase every cell of you from this world. Well said, Battler, was it? That's just a thing to divert me from my 1,000 years of boredom. Come, explain. Try explaining it all with humans and tricks. And learn how lowly humans are. Let's see if what humanity has built up in 100 years can oppose my 1,000. That's what will make forcing you to submit so pleasant. So tell me, who call yourself Battler. What about Maria's letter? How the 6 were killed? The shutter? The receipt seal? The closed room with the chain? Cannon in the boiler room? Genji and the others in the lounge? Natsuhi's suicide? The riddle of the epitaph? The location of the hidden gold? Yes, Battler. Why don't you show me the power of humans? Well. It's funny reading this when I know the solution to everything. Well, that was awesome. That was awesome. That was very cool. I'm sure it can all be explained by humans. Zanger is playing, by the way. Excuse me. Well, I mustn't delay for even a moment. I'd like to see you try. Well, we'll continue to work on it. We will continue to work on it. I need to know more. I simply need to know more. And the tea party was just Beatrice taunting us. Sorry, quote-unquote Beatrice taunting us. Witches don't exist, so it has to be explainable by humans and tricks. And battlers in, like, fucking hell. So... Oh shit, now I'm even more... Is the anime for this any good? This has an anime? Anime adaptation. Nah. What about the novel, like the actual book? What about the novel, like the actual book? I could read that on my own time without having to stream it. Or I could just stream it anyways and make it part of my audiobook series. The anime is missing a lot of stuff and is unsolvable. It was made before the answers released. Alama. Oh wow, I'm echoing. Hold on. Something fucked up on my audio mixer. Addition of new elements have been added. You can find this new feature on the title screen. Sorry, I took my headset off, so I didn't realize that I was echoing into my own speakers. It was a fucking absolute zanger, but it was a little loud. Welcome to the tea party of those who are not human. But I have to go to class. You gotta go read that before you go to episode 2 tomorrow. Tomorrow, chat. We've kind of gone all in on Umineko. We have to loop back around to Limbus one day soon. I don't even really have time to raid anyone right now. Cause like I legit have to get ready for class and you know, fun stream. I agree. That was a lot of fun for. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I think. We got the tea party. We got our daily games. I'll probably see you guys tomorrow. I will do my absolute best to wake up a little earlier. Raid and run liner. Wee woo. Hello, Al. You got here just as we're. You got here just as we're like calling it quits for the day. I gotta get my free channel points for the raid. Why do I always get here when stream's ending? Well, you know exactly when my streams end on weekdays because my classes start at the same time every single day. Raid and run. We'll raid and run. We'll raid and run the sheep demon. Anyways, cheers and have a wonderful day. We'll raid and run someone so that you guys can get your frickin' channel points. And you know what? Even if it's just y'all and I can't really like participate in the raid, you know, it's still fun and it still it still goes a long way towards, you know, supporting my friends. So you're right. You get me, Mr. Schumer. You get me, Mr. Schumer. 2.5 more hydrates, real. Well, thanks for poking your head in, Al. It's nice to see you, even if it's for less than a minute. And thanks to everyone else who stuck it through with me through the tea party. Like I had a lot of fucking fun reading the tea party, and I'm so like hooked on Umineko right now that I can't even think about Limbus. But we will go back to it soon, chat. Like we just have to like read enough Umineko that like I'm content, or at least enough Umineko that I can like start theorizing on my own time or something. Tomorrow we will do the tea party for people who are not human or whatever that was. I also would like to go back and read another chapter of L'Étranger. Limbus on Marisol Friday, maybe. Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't have class on Friday either. We can probably do that. Limbus and Umineko, I'm thinking. Alright, well, I've overstayed my welcome already because I really, really, really have to go, and the raid timer's ending. So, thanks again, y'all, and see you guys tomorrow, probably. Bye!